7. Gene, if you can lead us off in prayer.
Dear Father Abba, please help us to receive your word. Please help us to understand what it is you want us to learn from this session. We're thankful for your presence. We're thankful for your grace. Let us profit from the word that's being taught. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, I think if we sort of ended on we had just finished chapter 6. And chapter 6 ended when Gideon tested Yahweh. And anybody remember the test that he had Yahweh's side perform?
About the moisture. Yeah.
One night he set out the fleece, and he said next morning, if the fleece is wet,
Everything else dry.
and everything else dry, that wasn't quite enough. Then he the next night he did it and asked to reverse it with the fleece being dry and the ground being wet. And both times, the Yahweh passed the test. So now Yahweh is gonna
Be tested.
test him. So he's gonna start him off with about 30,000 men. So could someone start reading? See verses 1 through 3.
1 through 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jerubbaal, that is Gideon, and all the people who were with him rose early and encamped beside the spring of Harod. And the camp of Midian was north of them by the hill of Moreh in the valley. Yah said to Gideon, the people with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hand, lest Israel mount themselves against me, saying, my own hand has delivered me. Now therefore proclaim in the ears of the people, saying, whoever is fearful and trembling, let him return home. And Gideon tested them. 22,000 returned, and 10,000 remained.
Okay, 22,000 returned, but 10,000 remained. Wasn't there a provision in the law, the Torah, that cowards are automatically excused from serving in the service? Anybody remember that?
About what?
In the Torah, they certain people were excused from serving in the military. Men who had just gotten married, there were several categories. I don't remember the section, but there was a provision, those who were just plain scared of whips.
Well, back in the day, they wouldn't let homosexuals. That was way back when.
Yeah, I
back
remember.
in my time period.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. Now, I guess they would consider them. I don't know what they considered them. I don't know.
Mhm.
But they would let them
Well,
go.
they claimed that they were disruptive, but there was the other categories, are not cowards, were also released from the military. But no, do you remember a section in the Torah where they were talking about who can be released from serving in the military in Israel? There was
Those
people
are
who were
married, who just got married.
Just got married.
I can't remember the other ones. I know the ones who just got married, they were allowed to get out of the military.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm making stuff up as far as like a father, somebody's dying.
Right, and acknowledge cowards.
Cowards, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we discussed last week.
Uh-huh.
It was an honorable thing. It was like, well, was it? I would say honorable, but was it wise from Yah to allow for those individuals the opportunity to get out and admit that they were scared?
Rather than get into the middle of battle,
Yeah.
and you look around for your buddy,
Yeah.
and he's gone.
Yes. So they brought a lot of the, it was some new people from the wedding, and that's what we kind of brought out, because it was a couple of people that were in the military.
Uh-huh.
So that particular passage is like help wait with them as far as I'm knowing who I'm going to battle with.
Uh-huh.
I would prefer the person who said I'm scared to acknowledge that.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
But you know, you had club feet, you couldn't go into the feet that was messed up.
Right,
They call it
flat
club
feet.
Yeah, flat feet, they wouldn't take you in.
Mm-hmm. But, okay, so here we see this in operation. This is not a new thing. So, but 22,000, usually it wouldn't be that many people would say they're afraid. By the way, anybody know what tribe Gideon was?
It says in the first,
Out of the smallest.
He gave him his clan, Manasseh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which was one of the larger tribes. They had quite a bit of territory. Okay, so, but they still got 10,000, but it looks what Yahweh said, Yah says now. Why don't we read from 4 through 6.
And Yahuwah said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. Bring them down unto the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee. And of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So he brought down the people unto the water. And Yahuwah said unto Gideon, everyone that lapped of the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, him shalt thou set by himself. Likewise, everyone that bowed down upon his knees to drink. And the number of them that lapped, putting their hand on their mouth, were 300 men. But all the rest all of the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink the water.
Okay. I remember hearing lessons like this where the conclusion would be this was getting the most alert people, the people who were most alert. I sort of shy away from this because what Yah told him what the whole point of what he's trying to do, which was
narrow it down, minimize the amount of people who are qualified to go.
you know, he wanted to get credit himself. He didn't want them to have the credit for the victory. So if that's it, so the concept of him trying to pick the people who were most alert, who were most ready to fight, I sort of back off from that. Although I've heard that several times when people talk about it.
That scenario is funny with me because when I heard that preach, that's how I used to drink my water. Because I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I used to drink my water like that, like, yeah, I want to be alert, you know,
Uh-huh.
based upon that and the teaching that you're hearing. So we must have probably heard the same teaching about Gideon.
Right.
Everything that you're saying is kind of lining up with what I've heard majority about this particular
Right.
passage.
Well, that's why I'm saying, going through the Bible like this, and you know, I remember the phrase, take every thought captive. A lot of stuff we just saw, I think we need to re-examine them as we go through the Bible, because God told his purpose. I'm getting you down to so many men so that I get the glory. Not, you won't be able to say, oh, we did it ourselves. So that old interpretation is like, oh, well, we're just wheedling down to the Green Berets, you know, to the Delta Force.
Yeah. That's told the opposite of what the passage is. Wow, that's...
Mm-hmm. So we get down to 300.
I'm trying to picture what this looked like. Everyone that lapped of the water with his tongue as a dog.
Oh.
So they're standing up and they're bending completely down without bending their knees to get the water with their hands. That's what it looks like.
No, they kneeling down, but instead of, you know, some people, I've seen people do it. They drink the water, they have put their
Oh, mouth onto the water.
into the water
Oh, okay.
and sip it up.
They don't put it into the hands.
Right, other people, it's the people who picked it up the water and, you know, did this motion that was selected.
So, but they both are bowing down.
Yeah, you can't,
That's
you can't do it standing up.
That was my question. Because it doesn't say that in there. It says that the one that bowed down on his knees to drink.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that left it like a dog.
Laughed it like a dog. And that's pretty how much a dog will lap up water, or any other animal. Will stick their nose into, they stick their face into the water and lap it up that way. I think actually, looking at it this way, it would be the people who's most scared.
Which one? The one with the do the hand?
Right, they'd be looking
They don't know if the
around.
water is-
They'd be the ones the most scared.
I don't know who the scariest.
No,
I mean, kinda
probably
interesting.
scare call it alert.
Alert,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause I remember looking at the
One
animals-
man's dozen is another man's 12. Huh?
50 cents. Looking at the animal kingdom, that's how the alligators would get their feed, because most of the animals, when they're thirsty, they just go right to the water.
Right.
And then alert was going on, the alligator just.
I've seen those documentaries where they just come out. They can move real fast.
Yeah. But it was predicated upon those animals lapping, like they put their face in the water and not worried about their environment. You know?
Mm-hmm. That's true. Okay, then we deal with 7. Notice one pattern that's going on. Every step of the way, Yah's dictating. So let's do 7. And going down to 18. Let's go ahead and finish out this section. 18. Dave?
Okay, and Yah said to Gideon, with the 300 men that I had lapped, I will deliver you, and give the Midianites into your hand, and let all the others go, every man to his home. So he took the jars of the people from their hands, and the trumpets, and he sent all the rest of Israel, every man in his tent, to his tent, but retained the 300 men at the camp of Midian, was below him in the valley. The same night that Yah said to him, Arise, go down against the camp, for I have given it into your hand. But if you fear to go down to the camp with Purah, your servant, and you shall hear what they say, and afterwards your hand shall be strengthened to go down against the camp. Then he went down to Purah, his servant, to the outposts of the armed men that were in the camp. And the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the people of the east lay along the valley like locusts for the multitude, and their camels were without number, as the sand which is upon the seashore for multitude. When Gideon came, behold, a man was telling his dream to his comrade. And he said, Behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled at the camp of Midian, and came to the tent, and struck it so that it fell, and turned it upside down, so that the tent lay flat. And his comrade answered, This is no other than the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, this man of Israel. Into the hand Yah has given Midian and all his host. When Gideon heard the telling of the dream and its interpretation, he worshipped, and returned to the camp of Israel, and said, Arise, for Yah has given the host of Midian into your hand. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and put trumpets into their hands, and all of them with empty jars, and torches inside the jars. And he said to them, Look at me, and do likewise. When I come to the outskirts of the camp, do as I do. When I blow the trumpet, and all who are with me, and blow the trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and shout, For Yah for Yah and for Gideon.
Or trumpets, what are the trumpets? What trumpets?
That was the word for today.
Yeah, right. That's the word for
Damien was
today.
teaching us this.
So the trumpets are used to marshal the men that they're going to use to initiate Yah's intent. This dream interpretation, have we seen this before? Anybody remember? Where have we seen this before?
What, the dream?
Yeah,
Prior or after?
Joseph, and after, both of them.
Right, Daniel.
Daniel, right.
I remember Joseph.
Mm-hmm. You don't remember Daniel with Nebuchadnezzar's dream? He wouldn't tell anybody, he wouldn't tell his console what the dream was. He said, you gotta tell me what my dream was.
I'm gonna kill y'all.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you.
Y'all my payroll for being a dream interpreter. Tell me what I dreamed.
And so they was gonna wipe out all of the wise men,
Yeah.
but Daniel asked for time and prayed, and Yah told him what his dream was and what the interpretation was.
And like you said yourself,
Huh? What's that?
you say yourself, Joseph.
Right.
30 minutes.
30 minutes? Oh, okay, I thought we had less time than that. That's good.
I mean, you kind of do. I'm being nice.
So, here's Yah, he done put a dream in an enemy soldier's head, and he done given him an interpretation of the dream right then and there. That's supernatural, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then this dream is related to Gideon, which then lets Gideon know, hey, it's easy now. But at the same time, Gideon and his 300 men are not able to take any credit for it. This whole battle. And like I said, one of the patterns we've seen in Judges going through is that when they follow Yahweh's instructions, they're able to beat hundreds, and here we're talking about, what, 100,000 people? Without them suffering any casualties. Yeah, even the SEAL team is not that good.
Still bet in the army. Stop.
That's Navy. So.
Well, the Navy wouldn't be able to do anything, that's for sure.
You know it's called the Navy SEAL team, right?
You know what we call you guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is the key phrase. Arise, for Yahweh, Yahuwah has given the camp of Midian into your hand. This is what Gideon is now telling his 300 men. And then he said, do what I do. So everybody has a picture of what they do now. They take these pots. And if you ever seen documentaries of everything was done in pots back in those days. They didn't have, I mean, if they shipped weed, if they shipped olive oil, whatever they shipped around, they had these big pots. We don't see them around anymore. But that was a universal container back in those days. So they'll just take a torch, put it in the pot, it'll go out. Then when they break the pot, hopefully if it was still, the embers are still going, it'll just flare up. And then at the same time they did that, they was to blow the trumpet, which is, what's it called, David? The shofar. Shofar. They just blow it. So you got to get the picture. There's these tens of thousands of men in their tents sleeping. They're already scared because they're having this weird dream. And they've been psychologically preempted by Yah himself that some kind of way Gideon's going to win them. That some kind of way they're going to get there. I keep forgetting we're on camera. Well, ass is kicked. So, you laying asleep, you hear this chauffeur going off, you peek out of your tent, you see all these lights around you, and you say, they own it. So why don't we just start with 19 and go on through 25.
So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch. And they had but newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in their hands. And the three companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers and held the lamps in their left hands, and the trumpets in their right hands to blow withal. And they cried, Sword of Yahuwah and of Gideon. And they stood every man in his place around about the camp, and all the host ran and cried and fled. And 300 blew the trumpets, and Yahuwah set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the hosts. And the host fled to Bethshita and Zareph, and to the border of Abel-Melah, and to Tabath. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali, and out of Ashur, and out of Manasseh, and pursued after the Midianites. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all Mount Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites, and take before them the waters unto Beth-barah and Jordan. Then all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together and took the waters to Beth-barah and Jordan. And they took two princes of the Midianites, Oreb and Zeeb. And they slew Oreb on the rock. Oreb and Zeb they slew at the winepress of Zeb, and pursued Midian, and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side of Jordan.
Okay, so might help a little if we took us geographically. Is this good? Oh, here we go. If this is Israel, the Levant. This is the Jordan River. These are the Manasseh tribe, Gideon tribe, is right around here. Okay, now the Midianites, we're off the map, but the Midianites' land was way down here. So if they're routed, the only way they can get out is there's a river and a gully running up here. This would be what they're trying to head, because most of this is mountains, so you can only get through by going through a certain pass. So they've been routed. And notice that at this time, he also brings in, they're chasing him, so he asks some other tribe, the rest of Manasseh and Asher and Naphtali, to help them catch him. Because this is a route now, and frankly, it's not a situation where you say you can come in and rob us and steal from us and oppress us. And once you're routed, you can forget about it. We still coming to get you. So this is the cold-blooded part. They're going to chase these people down and kill them. Right. Okay. This is not a this is not a forgive and forget situation. Okay, so we go to Judges 8. They're chasing down the remnants of them who are trying to make it back to their homeland. So, Leotis, you want to read this section?
No, my thing is acting up.
Okay.
I'll read it.
Mm-hmm.
How far you want to go?
Let me see. We might be able to finish this. How much time do we have, Leroy? No, we can't.
No, we can't finish it.
We won't be able to finish it. We can get in another, I just told her that we would get in another 20.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is 20, it's gotta be 19.
Okay.
So 18 it is. All right.
What's happening after this?
Cause you know, it can get stretched, that 20 can get stretched to 30.
So-
Okay, I want to finish, let's get down to 9, because I want to finish the,
Let me read.
what happens is Sukkot and Peniel.
So Judges 8, 1 through 9.
Yeah, somebody read 1 through 9.
And it came to pass that Shamuel was old, that he made his son judges over Yashrael.
You're 8?
You're an eight?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I went too far.
You about to get stoned,
Overjudging. Overjudging. And the men of Ephraim said unto him, Why have you served us thus, that you called us not when you went to fight with Midian? And they did chide with him sharply. And he said unto them, What have I done now in comparison of you? Is not the gleaning of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of, what is that? Aviez? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Aviezer? All right. Yahweh has delivered into your hands the prince of Midian, Oreth, and was that Zeb?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was I able to do in comparison of you? Then their anger was abated towards him when he said that. And Gideon came to Jordan, and passed over, he and the 300 men that were with him, faint, yet pursuing them. And he said unto the men of Hukoth, Give, I pray you, loaves of bread unto the people that follow me, for they be faint, and I am pursuing after Zephach and Zalmulian, Muyana, king of Midian, and the princess of Hukoth. You know that means turn it up, right?
That made him scared.
Army, that's what I say. Hukoth said, Are the hands of Zephach and Zamuluna, I don't know how to say that, now in your hand, that we should give bread unto your army? And Gideon said, Therefore, when Yahuwah has delivered Zephach and Zalmunna, I'll just say it that way, into my hand, then I will tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars. Verse 8. And he went up thence to Penuel and spoke unto them likewise. And the men of Penuel answered him, as the men of Kukoth had answered him. That's verse 8.
Mm-hmm. So people can just picture here, Sukkot on this area coming out of the flatlands here where Manasseh was. Sukkot is about here. And what's the other one? Purcell? Pinyal. It's about here. Okay, him and the 300 men are chasing the two kings of the Midianites. They have, as far as they're concerned, they're gonna kill them. Might not like that, you know. That's when they get the mean Old Testament God versus the sweet Jesus. You said sweet Jesus will let him go, right?
No, sweet Jesus.
Sweet Jesus. Well, those who believe that haven't read Revelation 19, but now they contrast three different groups. Ephraim is mad at Gideon. Why?
Because they wanted to be a part of that.
They wanted to be a part of the action.
I want to slice some people up too. Who was impressed? Let me get mine
too.
Yeah.
Right. Now the people who live in Sukkot, he's asking them. He's not asking them to join the fight.
No.
All he asks them is, hey, we need some food. We chasing these people. We're exhausted. And what was their reason for not giving them some food?
Because you've already beaten these guys.
Huh?
Because it's like you've already beaten these guys.
that's what we should take. We're chasing them. But what did they say to Gideon and his men when they asked for some food?
We already captured those guys?
Hmm?
They want to know if you've already captured them already.
No,
Right.
He was like, do you own us too?
Yeah.
You know, are you, that's what I'm reading, and the priest, the
Verse
princess of
6.
Sukkot said, are the hands of Zebah and Zalmunna now in thy hand, that we should give bread into thy army?
What did they say? They said, you haven't caught them yet.
Yeah,
What if you don't catch them?
they may come back and come get us.
Right.
So we're trying to be neutral.
Mm-hmm. But hey, these are fellow Israelites.
Yeah.
And these people been oppressing us, how long was it? 8 years.
Some severe oppression. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been taking the food out of our babies' mouths. Now we got them on the run. And you won't help them. So he says, when I come back.
That's a negotiation.
Okay.
101.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tear your skin off.
Yeah.
Right. So then he continues on and they go through Peniel. Now actually, back in those days, if a whole bunch of people are running through your village, you're gonna know about it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Particularly if they're the people that have been oppressing you for years.
Right.
So the people in Peniel says the same thing.
Yeah. Same thing, yeah.
These Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
And we're fighting your fight.
Mm-hmm.
We're fighting to get rid of people who have been oppressing you. And you won't even feed us?
So what does it say about, I got a question to ask the class.
No, go ahead.
Maybe I'm off, but I don't want to be off. About the whole thing about not holding grudges.
Oh, in this situation?
Yeah. Because he said, I'm going to remember what you did. I'm going to pursue, but I'm not going to forget what you just did.
Right.
That's true.
Well, that's a grudge, but how long does it last? I mean, let's put it this way. It's not that he comes back 40 years later.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. That's holding a grudge.
All right.
But what he's saying is, as soon as I catch them, I'm going to come back and show you I got them. Then I'm going to deal with you.
Sort of like a promise.
Sukkot, he's going to whoop him. He's even worse with Peniel.
Yeah.
Time?
Mm-hmm. So why don't you continue on?
I do have another question, because you going fast. It's like, it
Oh,
says
go ahead.
about us, like, this goes into the script with Joshua was stating, choose you today whom you will serve.
Mhm.
There's no neutrality in this.
That's true.
Like,
That's
we
true.
see an element of the children of Israel trying to be neutral and trying to play both sides.
Mhm.
And we see throughout scripture about being lukewarm,
Right.
to be spewed out the mouth. You're starting to see a consistency with script about you have to make a decision on whose side you're on.
That's true. That's a good observation. And I think that's pulling out this principle. You're not going to go unpunished by trying to sit on the fence.
But then that goes right on top of what you said. This wasn't just a grudge.
Right.
They actually followed Torah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna be lukewarm? You're not.
Well,
Then we don't need you to exist.
There was a general obligation of all tribes
Right.
to support each other.
yes.
Right. And that was understood from the beginning. And then all of a sudden they just changed their mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're not following Torah. That means who's gonna say you're gonna turn on us in the future? Can't exist.
That's true. And the only way they can survive as a nation, because remember, you couldn't mobilize 30,000 men, which is what Gideon initially mobilized overnight.
Mhm.
It would probably taken months, each one of these stages, because we're dealing with a period of 300 years. From the time Yah chose a champion to raise an army, this is the smallest army we've seen raised. And from that time, it would take quite a long time to organize people. You gotta have commanders, generals,
Uh-huh.
captains,
Mhm.
sergeants. They got, uh-huh.
You forgot the lieutenant part. But go
Oh,
ahead.
lieutenants. Most time in the military,
Huh?
most enlisted men didn't pay attention to lieutenants.
They were the first ones that you would disrespect, especially
Uh-huh.
the second lieutenant. You would disrespect him because he didn't know what he was talking about.
Right, that's true.
Especially in battle.
But that is true. You have to have a chain of command. You have to have everybody organized. And we're only talking about battling. You don't, when you start talking about logistics,
Mm.
30,000 men just can't go out camping and live off the land.
Right.
So the people in Sukkot and how do you pronounce that? Peniel had gotten words on what's going on, what's happening. And then when they see all these Midianites fleeing through their village, and they still won't, Gideon didn't ask them to join them
Nope.
and chase them down. All he asked them to do was feed them. Now, back in those days, there was a general obligation, not just in Israel, but in any society, that you would feed your army people.
Mhm.
Because that was the only way they could stay. In other words, the people around, particularly when the army was out fighting for you, you were their logistics.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
They needed you. They needed to be supplied, to be fed,
Mm-hmm.
to be housed if they were wanted by the people in the community.
That's right. So that's and you bringing that point out, that's another, almost a judgment upon them because they denied all those services, making their pursuit even harder.
Right.
So
That's true.
That is, that's interesting.
And that could have made a difference between life and death for
Yes.
Gideon's army.
Yes,
Got so weak that they couldn't even fight anymore.
yes.
You have to be ready for battle.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is.
It's ready for battle, but the people that's supposed to be doing their job supposed to be ready for that battle too.
Right.
If we're protecting you
Mhm.
and provide the service, because we're actually protecting you to have the freedom that you actually have. So
Right.
if you're not doing your job and making our job harder, then you're an enemy to us.
Mm-hmm.
Remember verse 4, they were already faint. So they were already weak.
They always, what's that thank me?
Right, right. They were already weak. And so they needed the food. And then you're going to say no.
Right. To the army that's fighting for you.
Right. For you. That's the biggest part. We're fighting for you. And you won't feed us.
Mm-hmm.
They were sort of vicious back in those days.
Well, that's why Gideon's
Still
so
vicious,
vicious. So
Yeah.
continue reading. What? So
Verse
Gideon.
9.
Huh?
You start at verse 9.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Tear your
You going to read?
No,
Mhm.
no, you already did it, right?
Oh, back at me again.
Yeah.
And he spoke also, verse 9, and he spoke also unto the men of Penuel, saying, when I come again in peace, I will break down this tower. Now, Zavak and Slamuna were in Karkor. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
And their host with them about 15,000 men, all that were left of all the hosts of the children of the east, for there fell 120,000 men.
Wow, that's quite. Look at that.
Yeah, that drew swords. And Gideon went up by the way of them that dwelt in tents on the east of Novak, and
Okay. You're gonna. All right, do the show first.
Okay.
Let us do. We're gonna do. Are we gonna collect any offerings and?
Well, you got it all in that one envelope now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Then.
it's in there.
All right, then we could just end in prayer because I think this is almost prophetic in terms of not only what Bernard brought out, but why it's committing that rule. You can't be able to sit on the fence and then say, when Revelation 19 occurs, say, okay, I haven't been serving the devil, but I haven't been helping your people either.
Yeah.
Okay. So, who would like to end us in prayer?
I can pray us out.
All righty.
Hallelujah to the Rabbah Fellowship this morning, for the teacher, and for your teaching, for your word to present.
Oh, we're gonna do the presentation?
Yes.